Alright guys, hello, welcome back. Once again here I am your host, your captain, the Flying Moose, and we are having another flight today. This one's going to be a little different in the sense that we're going to include a FMS tutorial as was requested by one user yesterday, and we're back in the 737 for that reason. We're flying the American livery today, and I already see a number of people in chat. I see Aziz was the first one. I got the cred on that, and then followed closely by Andreas, Videogram 3, welcome aboard guys. Pierre, good to see you. Sherry Carlson, good to have you here with us, welcome aboard. Let's see who else we got here. Anybody else I miss? Blue Crayon's back. Hello, how you doing? And that's everybody in chat so far, so that's awesome. Hey guys, yesterday we had an awesome day of streaming. Biggest subscription influx to date. When we streamed on Sunday, we got about 50 subs, and that was awesome. I thought that was huge. Yesterday, we got about 125. Amazing. So thank you so much, guys. The support has been fantastic. I love you guys. It's been great. Poop Fried Chicken, how you doing, sir? Welcome aboard. So we're going to jump into this. I've got a wedding to go to this afternoon, so we got to make this kind of short and sweet to the extent that we can get it done. We're here still at Houston. We're going to be flying to Albuquerque today, so we're gonna jump in. We've got ground power and air conditioning support provided by the ground service today. Apparently provided by Allegiant. I don't know what's going on with GSX. I gotta figure out what's going on because this is just weird. This is the second day now where it's giving us weird. They've got American livery. What's happening when I load up the aircraft is actually not defaulting to American livery, it's defaulting to west wind. So I think it's reading west wind as the livery, even though it's in American, and it doesn't know what to do with west wind because we don't have support services for that. So I think it's just coming up with whatever its best guess is next, and today it's Allegiant. So I'm going to go in there and figure that out, but I can't do that today. So yeah, whatever. I'm Splog, I don't know what that means. Videogram 3, I don't know what that means. So let's quickly do our walk around here real quick, and we'll get that taken care of so that way we can get in the cockpit. Coming up here, we're going to check our nose gear first, as always, and we're looking at the tires and the light and the doors. We're making sure there's no hydraulic leaks, and the cylinder on the shock is nice and shiny, which I'm trying to see around the light. I may have to come from behind to see it. There it is. I'm trying not to go into the airplane, but yes, shiny cylinder right there. You always want to make sure that's shiny. If that's rusty looking or something like that, then that shows there's a problem, so you don't want to do that. Angle of attack indicator right here. Pitot tubes are guarded with the pitot tube covers, so that's good. Nose cone radome looks really good and clean. And we're going to come around the ground power unit here, the GPU. And Flight Simmer 2017, hey, welcome back, welcome to see you. Yes, Aziz, I remember you from yesterday, absolutely. Follow you on Farmville, like the Facebook thing. I don't know if I'm going to do that. We'll see. And we got 2 more pitos covered up over here. And we got our static ports right here and here, and I'm going to need to open up the cargo hatches as I can see here. This is the older American livery, the aluminum livery as I aluminum livery as I call it. They've all gone to the newer one now because of the carbon fiber aircraft structures, the 787 and things like that. So we got our side light here. I think actually now I'm thinking that's the wing light, I believe. This is the runway turnoff light and the main landing light. Wing roots right here looking good. Our main engine intake, all the fan blades look good. And yeah, we won't forget the pitot covers, don't worry. And the ground crew takes those off, I believe, when I remove ground power, because that's what happened yesterday. So I will double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. Engine looks good and nice and attached. I don't see any problems, any leaks, no fuel leaks. Leading edge of the wing looks good, not damaged in any way. I'm noticing our nav lights are not on, so I'll have to turn those on when we get in the cockpit. Winglet looks good. Trailing edge of the wing looks okay. Yeah, Aziz, I thank you for the sub and notification. I saw that yesterday. Thank you so much for doing that. Engine exhaust looks good. We got nothing living in there. No signs of any homeless badgers looking for a home to make in there. We don't want that. We've got our wheel strut. Nice shiny cylinder there. Tires look good. Brakes look good. No hydraulic leaks. And we're going to come back around. Registration today is November 807, November. And everything on the fuselage is looking good. Tail section looks good. APU exhaust port looks clean and free of any issues. Vertical stabilizer, horizontal stabilizers all look okay and satisfactory. We got stairs going up to the rear door that we will not necessarily be using today. Oh, hello. Hit that right mouse button. Obey, how you doing, sir? Welcome back to the stream. Awesome. I don't think that's why they changed, because the livery change doesn't reflect anything to do with U.S. Airways. Unlike the United Continental merger, I was told that the reason they changed the livery was because this livery would no longer work on carbon fiber composite aircraft because you can't do the aluminum. It's not there anymore. So, in a bid to update the livery and also do something that'll work across all airframes, I believe that's the primary motivator behind that. So anyway. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been led to believe. The strut here looks good. Brakes, tires, all look good. Trailing edge of the left wing looks good. No problems. Doug Crido, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. And winglet over here looks good. I love that the GSX stuff disappears when I lift my camera just high enough. And leading edge of the wing looks good. The left engine looks nice and secure. I'm going to check the fan blades here and just make sure there's no problems. Doesn't look like it. Wing root and lights all look good. And, so I walked through the air cart. And we got our static ports right here. So the airplane looks good, and so we are going to go and jump in the cockpit. That Kid Cole, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. Let's see. Yeah, we got. I can see a count of who's watching right now too. So yeah, it looks like we got 18 or 20 or so watching. That's great. Makes a 3D pilot animation. What are you referring to? Because there is that. So I don't know if that's what you're meaning, but yeah, whatever. All right. Yes, this is Houston. We are in Houston today. We're flying to Albuquerque. All right, so I'm going to get the passengers loaded. FIFA and planes, etc. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome aboard. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the emergency power, and we're going to flip on the IRSs. And I'm going to flip on the nav lights because we want those on here. I'm going to turn the seatbelt sign on. And I think everything else can wait. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and tell GSX to start loading our passengers. And then we're going to turn our attention to the FMS, and we're going to do a little short tutorial. Request boarding. Oh, and I need to open the cargo doors here. Open door, there we go. Because that would be bad. Alright, so I hear them starting to load. And how can you go around like that? FIFA and planes, that's done with a program called Easy Dock. Easy Echo Zulu Dock, D-O-C-K. Or D-O-K, I guess actually is what it is. There's also another one out there now called Chase Plane by FSFX Packages, which is actually looks a little better, which I'm probably going to get at some point here because I want to check that out. But that's what allows me to be able to walk around like that. Right. Also, notice here we've got our other indications now that gives us this. So apparently the United livery does not have the ability to do this, which is really odd to me. So United Airlines, what the heck? So I think someone screwed something up in the config file or something, but we'll deal with that later. It doesn't matter. Yeah, so the walk around is Easy Dock. I'm gonna put on Farmville. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at the flight plan, which we've got from SimBrief over here. Here's our flight plan today. We're flight 676, flying in the 737-800 from Houston to Albuquerque. Our alternate is CVS, not to be confused with the drugstore. That is right here. That's Lubbock, which actually that says Lubbock Canyon Air Force Base. Interesting. So yeah, not Lubbock, Texas. Lubbock. Yeah, it's interesting that that's, no, wait, no it's not. What's going on here? Why did it say Lubbock? Was it just highlighting from something else? Oh, it's highlighting that, maybe? It's Cannon Air Force Base, that's, which is apparently civilian as well, because it's KCVS. It's not, whatever, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, but that's our alternate. We're probably not going to go there, so it doesn't matter. But our flight's going to take us right over Austin, Texas, south of Odessa, and then up into New Mexico and into Albuquerque. Our flight plan today is the BNDTO5, the Bendo 5. I don't know how you would pronounce that necessarily, but STHYR, welcome aboard. How you doing? It's me again. Oh, Mr. 123 Cheesy, yes, Guten Tag, sir. Over where you are at right now, I would assume it's more like Guten Abend, but or maybe even Guten Nacht. I don't know. What time is it in Germany? I don't even know. But welcome, sir. Good to have you here. We're going to take this route. This just means direct, by the way. This isn't a waypoint, which is really confusing because it looks like a VOR. Logo, J15, CME, and then the Lizard 3 Arrival, which is an awesome name for Arrival, actually, I think. We're at flight level 360 again today, and airtime is about an hour and a half, a little over an hour and a half. We're going to have 19,199 pounds of fuel, and our zero fuel weight is 122,700 pounds. We have 132 souls on board. There's 10 in first class, 122 in coach, including myself. You're a wonderful pilot. Yeah, Houston isn't in United Hub, I know. There are some American flights that fly in and out of Houston, though. It's okay. It's actually not an American flight that flies out of Houston to Albuquerque, but I decided to fly American today just to change it up. So, because I like to, I'm an equal opportunity moose, so we like to change it up. Okay, So, moving on. We need to find out our reserve today. Final reserve is 3.5, 3,500 pounds, basically. 3,579. We can actually round it up to 3.6. I probably will. And we'll call that 3.6. So, what we're going to do for our FMS is we're going to... I already loaded the flight plan, by the way, into the weather engine and into the FSX during the intro song. So, that's already done. So we don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to move this over here, and we're going to go ahead and get into the FMS. Once I click on it, there we go. And show you what is what. So to do the FMS, or the FMC, which is it's flight management system, flight management computer, it's a lot of terms for the same thing. You'll hear this referred to as different things in different types of aircraft, different manufacturers. But it's all really the same thing. It just depends on how that aircraft manufacturer decides to talk about it. The stream is going to be as long as it takes to get to our destination. So it's going to be at least an hour and a half to the destination, probably looking at another half hour, maybe 45 minutes on top of that. So we're looking at 2.5 to 3 hours, something like that, for the stream time. There's not yet that I'm aware of, Ryan, but welcome to the stream, sir. Okay, so it's telling us to enter our IRS position. That is because I have already turned on, up here in the overhead panel, the IRSs. So they're in a line right now. They're waiting for me to give it a GPS coordinate so it can know. Basically what an IRS is it's an inertial reference system. It's also, it was called an INS back in the day, a little further, which was the inertial navigation system. It's all kind of the same thing. Basically there's gyros and things that are spinning up inside the aircraft, and once you tell it where it is, it uses accelerometers, forward momentum, sideways momentum, up and down, to tell it how far it's moved, at what speed over time. It's all math. And so once you tell it where it is, now it knows, once it's all spun up, where the aircraft is, and it will tell it where the aircraft is as you move. If you put the wrong, you can put any IRS position in here, and it will think you are there. It does not know. It relies on you. So what we do is we go here to FMC. The very first thing we're going to do, we're going to ignore this message for a second. We're just going to double check and make sure our nav data is correct, which right now it appears to be June 22nd to July 19th. Today is the 15th, so we're almost at the end of this area here. No, I have not had a chance to look at that War Thunder game yet, Mr. Cheesy. I had a very busy day yesterday after I got off stream, so very busy day. And so we'll need to update this from Navigraph. If yours is not correct, is not current, it's not the end of the world. It just means you cannot use current navigation waypoints because they may not be correct. You need to use them for your current AIRAC cycle. Navigraph will only let you use the current AIRAC cycle you have paid for, so that works out well for you. Dire Wolfie, welcome to the stream, sir. How you doing? So we're just checking that to make sure. The pilots will always check this data to make sure it is correct as they start the aircraft and make sure there's no issues with that. We then go over, basically your pathway through this, your map through this, is this down here. This will always tell you what the next step should be. So the next one is position initialization, or init. And this is where we tell the aircraft where we currently are. Now to do this, I'm going to clear this little message down here because I'm going to need to put this. This is the scratch pad right here. And so as I put things, as I enter things, they'll go into the scratch pad, and then they will get input depending on what line select key I select. There's L line select keys and R line select keys, which means left and right. L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, L6, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6. That's how this thing works. All right. Isaac, welcome aboard. Thank you for the props. I appreciate it. Not too much longer. They will stop loading in a little bit, so just ignore them. All right, we're going to go down here to the next page. This is our coordinates we're getting from the GPS. You could also get these in real life. A lot of times they'll be posted at the gate to tell you where the stand is. But now the aircraft come equipped with GPS, you can get this from the GPS system. And so yeah, so we're just going to pick one of these. They're essentially the same. They're very close anyway. In fact, that one just changed, I think. They both said 19.9 a second ago, I thought. I'm going to take the one that said 19.9 because I think that's probably more accurate. So we're going to put that in the scratch pad. I'm going to go back up, previous page, and we're going to enter that in here. And as we do that, you see this all comes alive. Now we have our HSI, horizontal situation indicator, Our nav display's up, and same thing on the co-pilot side. So now the aircraft knows where it is because it's all spun up. Boeing all the way. All right, our reference airport. This is just for further information. Make sure that this jives, relatively speaking, with that. So it'll cross-check this number and make sure it's close to what you put in. So if I put in south 30 by east 25, and we put in a reference airport of KIAH, it'll probably come back and say something. You're not somewhere you're telling me. Something is wrong. So it's just another cross-check point. So we'll put KIAH, which is the identifier for Houston. I'm not going to worry about the gate because I don't think most of the time it knows what that even is. In real life, they would put the gate in, that information would be here. I don't think that's really loaded in correctly. So our next stop is route. We just keep going on the thing here. So it already puts KIAH in here. Oh, there you go. The passengers are done loading now. So we can just line select that up to the origin because it's assuming we're going to leave from where we started from. Aaron Wiggins, welcome back to the stream, sir. And our destination today, we're going to put KABQ, which is the identifier for Albuquerque. Our flight number, this is totally optional. This is just for references. So we are AA676 today. So I'm going to put that in there. And if we had a company route preloaded in, hey, Josh Manfield, please stop spamming the chat. Thank you. Tyler Richardson, how you doing? Yes, I'm doing very well, and I hope you're doing well as well. All right. If you had company routes loaded in previously, you can do this in PMDG. I don't use this feature very often, but you can have stuff preloaded. I'm not going to go into how to do that. You can read the manual for that one. But Rashid Kalfan, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. Ranger 79 Productions, hello, sir. How you doing? And so you can use that, and then runway, this will get filled in when we select the runway we're going to be using for takeoff. I'll show you how to do that. So you'll notice here there's no instruction on where to go next. This is where that kind of ends because we haven't executed our flight plan yet. You can go in here and do this all manually if you want to. The date's tonight, actually, not yesterday. Date's tonight. We're going to do that. We're not going to do that manually, but you could. We're going to go down here to departure and arrival. This is where we put in our departure. So we're going to, obviously, KIAH. We could actually arrive back at KIAH in case we had to do like an aborted takeoff or something like that. You know, after we take off and we have to come back to the airfield. Vader Gaming, hello, sir. How you doing? Rashid, thank you for subscribing. What's up, man? Things are going good for me. My FSX runs smooth sometimes. It just depends on where I am. Right now it's running smooth. Other times not so much. So it all depends on the computer. Cole, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. All right. Delta Alpha Delta Delta Yankee. DADDY. I don't know what that is. Okay. Oh, Christian, you got X-Plane 11. That's awesome. How you like it? Will you go to your... I'm going to the wedding because I'm running sound for the wedding. The date is after the wedding. Alright, so we went ahead and chose departure. It brings up the SIDS, and then it brings up the runways. And so the runways I was told to expect today is 33 right. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. If that changes, I'll show you how we change that. We're going to assume 33 right. That also jives with what Will was saying yesterday, that 33 are usually the takeoff runways here. Because we tried to land on that, and he said, no, use 27, so we use 27. Our departure that works for that runway is Bento 5, so we're going to select that. And now we have a transition we need to select. Now this is dependent on your flight plan. So if we go back and look at the flight plan, we see our first waypoint here is CRGER, and what do you know? That's one of these transition waypoints. So we're going to pick that transition waypoint. And we have that selected now, and now we can go back to route. Now you notice it's put in our departure runway right here. I do not have the APU on. We have ground power and air conditioner card connected at the moment. Breaking Bad, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, hopefully we're not going to be doing that. Alright, so once we have that, I'm not going to hit activate yet because I haven't finished the flight plan. All we have is the departure. Now what we need to do is we need to basically scroll down. You see it's this one of two. We need to go next page, and we go over here, and here you see our route is the Bendo 5 departure with CRGER, and that's our 2 points. So now we got to fill in the rest of these. So here we go. So looking at our flight plan again, That's not our flight plan. Sorry, I pulled over the wrong thing. That's what I'm looking at to stream. Sim brief. There we go. Looking at our flight plan here, our next thing is direct to Logo, which is an awesome name also. So we're going to put that in here. So L-O-G-O-W, Logo. And we're just going to do, not in database. What? Did I spell it wrong? Maybe I did. Stand by. This is an interesting phenomenon because we have the latest AIRAC data. So L-O-W-G-O. Oh, yeah, dyslexic me. L-O-W-G-O, not L-O-G-O-W. That would help. L-O-W-G-O. Alright, L-O-W-G-O. I didn't even spell it how I pronounced it. Oh my gosh. Awful. Alright. Okay. I kind of did say bendo. I don't know how to pronounce it. Bento. There's a D in there too, so it's like bend-toe. I don't know. It's a hard one to pronounce. Alright. All waypoints, 5 letters. No, not all waypoints are 5 letters. All fixes are 5 letters. VORs, NDBs, which you don't find many NDBs anymore, but VORs are all 3 letters. NDBs are usually 2, I think it is. Which, again, you don't find those much anymore. So, the dyslexia is real, absolutely. Alright, so Logo, and then what was our next waypoint after that? Let me bring that back up. Ryan Menard, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. Then J15. J15 is not a waypoint. J15 is a jet route. So, to deal with jet routes, we put them over here. So, I'm going to say J15, and basically what that allows you to do, there's a whole bunch of waypoints that J15 follows. It will do those automatically. Cryptid Pilot, welcome back, sir. Hello. Yeah, I know. I've been crazy busy too. It's been a strange couple weeks with buying the car and everything. So, but good to see you, sir. So anyway, so we're gonna put J15 in there, and then that gives us, it needs a 2 because we're going from Logo via J15 to where? We need to tell it where. And our next waypoint, looking at the flight plan here, is Charlie Mike Echo, which is a VOR. Charlie Mike Echo. And we put that in there. Now, if that didn't jive, if that wasn't on J15, it would give us an error. But clearly it is on J15, so it's fine. We could continue following J15 beyond that if we wanted to, but we don't need to because that's where our arrival begins. No, this was not on a multiplayer because I've got a very short, I've got a wedding to go to this afternoon, and I've got yeah, just, things are what they are, so. Alright. It's a good flight yesterday. Yeah, thank you, Quick Gaming, I appreciate that. Hang glide it, like, give me the glider, yeah. Alright, Charlie Mike Echo, and then that goes to our arrival. So we're going to go back here again to departure arrival, and this time we're going to choose our arrival. And the arrival it's given us is the Lizard 3. So we're going to go down here to the Lizard 3. And we have a number of runways to choose from. Now, the Lizard 3 brings us in from the south, so it'd be nice to choose a kind of relatively southern runway, which it looks like 26 is probably the closest to that. And also, the winds right now are variable at 3, so it could really be from anywhere. I'm going to bring up... I just want to, because I want to verify before I do that. So I'm going to bring up Navigraph here. I'm going to bring that over here for you guys. And let's have a look. This is Houston. Let's go ahead and bring up KABQ. And that is there. Alright. We'll be starting Pushback in a second, but I got to do this first because I promised someone to do the FMC tutorial. No, 2.6. Yeah. What am I thinking? 2.6 is not. 3. That's more appropriate. I'm getting my directions mixed up. All right. Well, 2.6 is a humongously long runway and would definitely work. It's probably the primary runway. 3 would also work for us. I think we're actually gonna. I think we're gonna aim for 2.6. Actually, we're gonna come from the south, but we're also coming from the east. So, I think we're gonna plan for 2.6, and we'll see what happens. Who knows what we'll end up getting, but this is over by the cargo area. This is at least by the, this will end us over here by the terminal, so that works out nicely. So, so let's aim for 2.6, and it's got more length than we can possibly imagine. Alright. Brian Sickman, hey, welcome to the stream, sir. Okay, so we're gonna assume 2.6. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Lizard 2.6. And then I'm going to specify over here. There is no ILS 26, which is fine. We'll just do the RNAV 26. Oh, RNAV Y26. I'm not sure what the difference is. You know, before I do that, previous page, we're doing the that transition. You know what? I better pull up the. This is stuff you gotta. What's going on in your background? I don't know. What is going on in my background? What's that sound in the back? What sound? Is it like a... Describe it, because... oh, it's my fan. I'm sorry. You guys are hearing that? Okay. Yeah, it's not my ceiling fan. It's squeaking away. Sorry. I apologize for that. Okay. I don't hear it anymore because it's just... I hear it all the time. But when it gets quiet, you probably can hear it when I'm not... When you don't hear the aircraft sound. Alright, so let's look down here. We got two... there's two arrivals to 6. There's Zulu and Yankee. So let's look at both of these and see if one is more appropriate. This one doesn't, let's see, initial approach fixed down here from Pila. We're also going to need to look at the arrival. What does the arrival put us at? Where's the, let's see, Lizard 3 arrival for 2-6. Yeah, no, it's not my bad. Okay, so actually that one will work because Pila is one of the fixes. We can either do the Comro or the Pila transition. So we'll probably do that. So let's assume Pila, which means we'll go back here and look at the Zulu, and I'll just double check and see if Yankee is any different. I think it will be because it'll probably be from different direction. Yeah, so Yankee's from the north, so obviously we would not be using that one. So we want the Zulu version of the RNAV. We're going to come up here from Pila and come around and land 2-6. That's how that works. Okay, so given that, back here, we can now go down here and find, oops, there's the RNAV Zulu 2-6. We want that one, and our transition point is going to be Pila. Now we can go back to route and we make sure there's no no discontinuities here. And the winds at ABQ do factor in, but the winds right now at ABQ are variable. They're variable at 3, so they're basically going to be considered calm. So any runway is basically an issue. So anyway, yeah, it's boring for non-aviation people, which if you're a non-aviation person, then I don't know why you're here. So, yeah. Alright, so at this point, now that this is done, we can activate. Activate and execute. Make sure you do that last part. Now, in the legs page, it's all down here. Now, you notice we've got vectors after takeoff, so we're going to have to fly manually to shack, and that's going to be important. We'll look at the departure in a second here. We're just going to go down this thing here. We're looking for any discontinuities, any issues. I don't see any, so we should be good to go. So then, we go over here. No, that's route data. We're going to hit the initial ref, and that basically brings us back to the deal there. So, yeah, encrypted pilot, give me a moment. So our zero fuel weight today, I said, was 122.7, so we're going to put that in. This is our weight and balance section now, and this is important so the aircraft knows what kind of performance data it's going to have to do our takeoffs. Our reserve, I said, was 3.5. I said I was going to round to 3.6, that's 3.79. So we're going to do 3.6 for reserve, and I fly with a cost of 80. I put that in the sim brief, so it accounts for that. It's thinking our best, our best altitude is going to be 350. We're actually flying 360 today because we're flying west, and it's saying max altitude 352. I don't think that will be a problem. You know what? Why it's saying that? Because we have not put in. You know what I didn't do? I'm sorry. Hang on. Before I execute that, I'm going to go over here. What I didn't do, it thinks that because we have full fuel loaded right now, and we will not have full fuel. Yeah, so we need to tone that down. It's 19199 is the thing. Hey, One Plays, welcome back to the stream, sir. We already got to 700 subs, Brian. We're over 700. We got 150 yesterday. We need to get to 800 now. But thank you for your enthusiasm. 19199. 19199 is our fuel. There we go. Okay, so now if we go back here, I'm going to set that one more time to make sure that's all there. Yeah, see now our flight level, it says 387 for a max, so we're fine now. So now we can execute that. N1 limit. What this is this is where you can derate the thrust. And please don't spam me on Twitter. All right. Okay. So what you would use this for? This is a fuel saving measure. If you were really light, you don't necessarily need full thrust if you got a really long runway and you have nobody on your plane. At the same time, you do want full takeoff thrust if you're completely loaded down and heavy. We're somewhere in between because we're fairly loaded up, but we have very little fuel because we're going on a short flight. So I'm going to go ahead and derate us to derate 1. So it takes us from 26,000 pounds of thrust to 24,000 pounds of thrust. And we're going to also select climb 1. You can also select a different air temperature, and this will automatically calculate. A lot of airplane companies will do this and give their pilots, say, set 56 degrees C, which is a ridiculous amount of heat. But the aircraft will derate itself based on that because it can't do a certain amount with that heat. And so that's another way to derate it. So you can do it that way, or you can use the presets. So we're going to go derate 1, just to give us a little bit less. And then we go right over here to takeoff, and we got to set our flaps. Generally speaking, on the 737, it's a flaps 5 takeoff. You could do a flaps 10 if you really needed the extra oomph. We don't. We got plenty of runway. It's not going to be a problem. CG is something that would be calculated by dispatch for you, and so here it does it for you and gives you your trim setting based on that CG. So you just, whoops. So you just go back where you came from. I clicked the thing there. So you just do that. Tyler Tucker, welcome to the stream, sir. Canada is your state. Canada is a country. Well, okay, actually, a country is a state in that sense, and a sovereign state. So yeah, we use state. We use the word state here differently in the United States. But you're correct too, actually. All right. So yeah, so you can get your trim there and just hit that key twice. It'll put that in and then give you that. Now you'll see here we need to verify the V speed. So it's giving us our V speeds 137, 138, 146. For those of you that don't know, V1 is stop-go speed. So taking off, once you hit that speed, your hands come off the thrust levers. You are committed to take off. After that, you hit VR, which is rotate. That's where you start to pull the nose back. And V2 is your safety speed. So that's where you should be able to, your minimum safely fly the aircraft speed. That's why a lot of people will set V2 plus 10 or V2 plus 15. It gives them a little bit of cushion, and it gives them the maximum climb out because you want to put as much distance between you and the ground as soon as possible, because if something does go wrong, altitude is your friend. Once you get up to a fairly safe altitude, like say 1,000, 2,000 feet, then you lower the nose, you level off, and it's accelerate speed, and you accelerate up to usually about 240, 245 knots under 10,000 feet. And then once you get above 10,000 feet, you lower the nose again, and you can continue to accelerate up to about 280 knots, usually in the 737 or so, and then and as you make your way up to your cruising altitude. All right, we're flying flight level 360 today, Parker. Welcome aboard. All right. Should have had a V8, yeah. So we just got to confirm our V speeds. We're going to do that right now. And our takeoff weight looks like it's going to be 142.1. Our gross weight is 142.1 as well, so we're not burning much on the taxi, I guess. And our runway there is 33 right. If we change the runway, it will delete our V speeds, because our V speeds are contingent on the runway we are taking off on. So we will have to reconfirm them if we change runways. After that, that is it. You're done with setting up the FMS for takeoff. You don't need to do anything else. Everything else is stuff we'll look at in flight, like the legs page, the progress page, hold stuff, descents. We'll deal with that there. But you can just leave that on the takeoff page. The FMS setup is done, and it's raining now. Check that out. That's going to be a nice frame rate hog. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the APU because we want to get that going for start. So I'm not using the start cart today. For that, we're also going to turn on one of the fuel pumps, and we're going to kick on the yaw damper. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on the... Actually, hang on, before I do that, I'm going to turn on the window heat. I need to make sure our pitot covers are removed before I do the other thing. Tomorrow is what, Sunday? Yeah, I'm planning on streaming tomorrow. We'll see if that happens. I'm going to go over here to menu, ground connections, pitot covers removed. There we go. Alright, now the pitot covers are removed, now we can turn the pitot heat on. All that is to make sure those don't ice up at altitude, because you don't want that to happen, because then you can't tell your speed. It's bad. Bad, bad, bad. Let's also, while that APU is firing up, let's go ahead and close our doors. We got to close the main door, and we got to close the cargo doors. And then I'll put this on ground connections because we're going to need to remove those in a second once the APU is on here. And it looks like it is now available, so we're going to turn on APU power. We're going to turn off ground power. David Niels, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. And we now have air through that, so I'm going to turn on that as well. I'm going to go ahead and kick on the anti-collision because we're going to start our engines pretty soon. And I'm going to call for, actually, I think today I'm toying with the idea of just ignoring air traffic control today. I think I'm going to do that. Screw it. Screw air traffic control. I'm just going to do what I want. Alright, so we're going to move the... let's see, I don't need any of that. I need that. We want to prepare for pushback and departure, and we're going to, based on where we currently are, I believe we're over there, and we're taking off 33 right, so we need to put the nose to the left. And let's pull the jetway away. I forgot to do that yesterday. Let's make sure we don't forget that this time. Now the APU is running, we can disconnect the air cart and the power cart and remove the wheel chocks, and we'll go on to parking brakes there, which I should have done before I did that. Right. And I'm also going to go ahead and turn off the lights.
You're ready for pushback.
Wonderful. Okay. And once we do some other things, we'll be all set to go. This is American Airlines. American Airlines livery.
Locking gear.
One American Airlines, yeah. Alright. We do have traffic today, which it looks like they're...
Departure check completed. Flight has been inserted.
Curious what runway they're taking
Relief
off.
parking brake.
I'm just going to listen to the ATIS here real quick to see what they think we should be doing. 267. Oh, they're taking off on the two. Okay. Yeah, they're taking off that way, so we're not going to do that. So, but that also means we'll be we won't have anybody harassing us on our runway. So that's awesome. So, huzzah! We're going to stick to our runway. So fuel pumps are all going to come on, and we're going to turn the packs off. Bleed valves are on, and turning one or turning two rather, I guess. Text to speech? What's text to speech? I don't know that I want to do text to speech. 140 frame rates would be fantastic. 30 frame rates is good. Anything above that is just bonus. So, I mean, your eye sees roughly about 30 frames a second. Roughly. I mean, you know, at least that's enough. That's enough to convince your eye of fairly fluid movement, rather. Your eye probably sees actually a lot better than 30 frames a second. But that's why the movie industry and film always used anywhere from 24 to 30 frames as their starting point. Alright, looks like engine 1 or engine 2 is stable, so we'll go ahead and fire up engine number 1. Sergey, welcome aboard. How you doing, sir? Altitude irritates you. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And fuel on. Can I have your phone number? I don't know why you would need my phone number, because you can contact me on Twitter and Facebook. That's why those exist. Alright. Yes, we are finally moving. So we are going to take this. I need to bring up a better... Oh, that's Albuquerque. Look at my map here and find out where I'm taxiing to. KIAH. South. There we go. Okay, so we are... Yeah, where are we? I don't think I'm where I thought I was. That looks like that says SF. Where the crap am I? Oh, that's SF. Oh, I see. Okay, I know where I am. Okay, we're going to take SF down to RA. Mathos, Matt, thank you for subscribing, sir. Wonderful. Yeah, I don't know why you can't DM me on Twitter. Or spamming with you, exactly. Twitter is in the feed down below, the scroll. We're going to take Sierra Foxtrot down to Romeo Alpha. Romeo Alpha will take us across the bridge over to, let's see, looks like Whiskey Bravo. And I'll take Whiskey Bravo all the way down to Whiskey November, which will take me to 33 right. So, okay. Alex Whitley, how you doing, sir? I do not have Instagram right now, no. I've got a lot of people requesting me to do it, so I think I'm going to get it, but I don't have it yet. Do you have to pay to have your video streamed? No, the streaming is actually free. Potentially, YouTube will pay me. Now, that's not anywhere near enough to do that yet, but no, streaming's free because they have advertising on here, so that's how YouTube's making their money. Let's get an outside view real quick. Sure thing. Air Action 2257, thank you for subscribing. Welcome aboard. Look at this windy and rainy and nasty day. Look at that. We gotta get ourselves out of here. We need to go to Sunport. You gonna run me over? That was, wow, that's an interesting maneuver. I think that was that, yeah, we're aiming for 1,000 subs, so we're well on our way. We're getting there. It's Whittly. Sorry, I'm looking at these quickly. So yeah, Whittly. Am I saying that right now? I don't want to call you the wrong thing. The beacons. Well, the beacons are supposed to be on. I turned them on. Anti-collision's on right there. Logo light can come on. I'm going to go and turn the wing light on. Taxi lights can come on. Runway turn-off lights can come on. The other hydraulic pumps can come on. Okay, whoever just subscribed, I just missed it. I heard the thing and I had to look away. And so if you just subscribed, I'm so sorry. Let me know in chat and I will give you the shout out you so really deserve. Are you saying it's Whiteley? Maybe that's what I'm saying wrong. Sorry, it's the E's that are throwing me off at the end, so... Don't worry, we'll do the passenger announcement, don't worry. The ground crew does come with the PMDG, the 747 stuff. It does not with the NGX. This is GSX that's providing that. That's not a PMDG thing. Alright. So, can you buy all your Orbex airports at once? Well, probably, I don't know. I think you have to download them all. I think you have to buy them individually. I don't think there's like a pack, but Whiteley. Okay, sorry, so sorry, Alex. I will call you that from now on, Alex Whiteley. I will do my best to remember that. Okay. And we'll turn our generators on. I forgot to do that before I turned the APU off the other day. That was bad juju. And now we'll turn the APU off. And just make sure these are good to go. Got our, yes, now thing's done. We need to, whoa, what is that little warning light? Zone temp. No. There we go. Just a trip. Alright. Alright, have you ever crashed? Yes, I have. I will not strike the tail. Well, famous last words. Okay, let's go over here and do what we tried to do yesterday, but we couldn't because that thing didn't show up. Test our flight controls. 2 up and 1 down. 2 up and 1 down. 2 down. 2 up. full left, center, full right, center. And I'm going to tap the brakes here so that little stupid issue doesn't happen to me like it did the other day. Daddy moves, sorry. Yeah, thank you, Aziz, for the props in the car. I'm loving that car, by the way. In fact, I've got a... yes, I'm going to do an international flight. Don't worry, that is coming. Trelos57 Gaming, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. Alright, I'm going to go back over here to this, and I want to go to that. We need to set N2 plus 15 up here, which is 146, so that's going to be 156, 161. And we're going off runway 33, so I'll set roughly 330, and we'll just use 10,000 as our magic number, since I'm not using, what's that called today? Flight director can go on. And let's test the TCAS. I'm trying to remember to do all this stuff before I leave. TCAS is testing, and then we'll do our GPWS test in a second here. I think that funeral happened a long time ago. I don't know what airline I'm going to use for the international flight. It may be Westwind, but I don't know yet. Or it may be Lufthansa, actually. I might do that. Okay, TCAS pass, we're going to put that onto transponder. I'm going to make up a number because we wouldn't really be flying. There we go. 5633, that's our spot code. We're going to set RTO, and we need to test GPWS. And while that's happening, we're going to start taxiing.
Light slow. Hold up. Wind shear.
I just did it. One. So you'll have to go back and watch. The whole first part of the video was me doing the FMC tutorial. So, and we'll talk more about it in flight for the in-flight parts of it. But the setup of it is already done. So, if you want to email me for anything, you can email me at wwa1990@gmail.com. That's my Westwind flight number, and that's what I use for the stream on this channel. So if you do want to email me, go ahead. Please don't spam me with things, but otherwise I will have to block your email and call you a spammer. But let's see. Well, because fire is a horrible thing on an aircraft, so the more fire extinguishers, the better. Can't have too many. Okay, now wait a minute. What am I sending? I'm going the right way. That says that's Sierra Bravo. It should be Romeo Bravo, shouldn't it? Oh. Oh, I went too far. I was already at... Wow. Where was... Okay. Alright, we're going to take Sierra Bravo then back over here to Sierra Charlie and then go back up. Sure thing. Olga, if you're watching, welcome to the stream. You got your Sergey's boyfriend. That's awesome. And congratulations, Sergey. There you go. Let's go off-road. Yeah, let's not. Thanks for the update, Blue Cran. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Yeah, we got 125 yesterday. That was one day. It was just amazing. And the stream view was my videos right now have been averaging once they go onto YouTube after the stream content and everything like that is right around like anywhere from 500 to 600. Stream views yesterday when I checked last night was 1.9 thousand. So awesome day. It's just, this thing is snowballing and I love it. It's great. You guys are awesome. So thank you so much for the support. I can't say that enough. I think when we hit 1,000 subs, I think I'm going to put together like a special little like promo video, thank you video kind of thing. I think that'd be cool. Can you drift? I don't know if I can. I don't know that I should try. FMC does not turn on. When you start the 737, how are you starting it, SidMake Studio? What do you mean by that exactly? Okay, see, that says Sierra Delta. That's not Sierra Delta. Oh, you know why? Because they renamed all the stupid... Uh-oh. Alright, stand by. I gotta put you on pause for a second. Never mind, that wasn't important at all. That was some weird telemarketing thing in Spanish that I don't speak, so that's awesome. Get my phone number, that's great. Alright. Okay. Anyway, moving on. That's why I don't go with my phone number. Okay. So we're on Sierra Delta. This is fun because they changed all the taxiway indications apparently from FSX. Isaiah Enger, thank you for subscribing. Welcome aboard. Yeah, thanks, Brian. Can you tell I have Verizon? Alright. We need to set our flaps to 5, so let's do that. Got 42 people in the stream right now. Welcome aboard, guys. If you haven't said so in chat, say hi. And language, once again. Who's using language? You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. That's the best way to find out when I'm streaming. The Hunter, thank you for subscribing, sir. Also, hit that like button and that subscribe button if you haven't already. I would sure appreciate it. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs. And, yeah, enjoy the ride. This is, I do this guy for you guys. So the more likes, the more hits, the more subscribes. That just tells me to keep doing what I'm doing. If it stops, then I'll stop. Because there's no point in me doing this. I mean, I'll keep flying for my own self, but there's no point in me streaming if no one wants to watch. But clearly that's not the case, because what I'm seeing is it's just getting more and more popular. So I don't have a DC-9 at the moment, so I can't fly one. X-Pilot just subscribed. Thank you so much, sir. Also, if you try to hit that subscribe button and your name does not pop up, it means your subscription settings are set to private on YouTube. So you might want to check those first if you really want to see your name pop up there, because once you hit that subscribe button, you can't unsubscribe and redo it again. It will not let you. So just know that. Brian is trying to spam me for fun reasons. What is spam? Aziz, if you don't know what spam is, good for you, because you don't want any part of that. It's basically when someone just hits you up with a billion messages that are worthless. It's a reference to a canned meat that it should not exist, really, but it's Monty Python made good fun of it, which is fantastic. Tokyo Drift. So it's a long-time subscribers. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So Brian, stop it. Oh my gosh. Alright, also, a reminder, if you guys would like to suggest destinations or routes or whatever else, SWA Fan 10, thank you for subscribing, welcome aboard. Please do so by using either the Facebook or Twitter accounts, because there's no way I can remember when you guys tell me on the live stream. When I end the stream, the chat goes away, so I can't reference it back. So if you would like to recommend or request routes, I will definitely take them under advisement. No guarantees that they will happen in any kind of a timely fashion, because it depends on where I am and my schedule. But I will definitely take them under advisement and try to fly them when I can. But you got to do that through Twitter or Facebook, because there's no way I can remember otherwise. So, all right. Yeah, thanks, Brian, for that. Oh, good point, Cryptid. Good point. Just put them on intermittent. The rain's kind of light, so we'll get to see just fine. They'll just gotta go back and forth. Mr. 123 Cheesy TCG just subscribed. Had you not subscribed yesterday? I thought you subscribed yesterday. Or is that a different account that you opened so you could get it again? Emmett Fossey, welcome aboard. David Nielsen, thank you for subscribing. Welcome aboard. Dakota Lowry just followed me on Twitter, so thank you, sir. See, my phone tells me when the Twitter stuff happens, so you can get a kind of a secondary shout out if you follow on Twitter. So, FYI. I do have the Concorde. I don't have the new one. The FS Labs did a redo of it. I should probably get it because the other one can get kind of buggy, and I don't even know if it works in Steam. One Gemini Jets America. Thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. Oh, thank you, Encrypted. I appreciate that. Yeah, Encrypted's a moderator, guys. So if you start doing the whole spam thing, he's gonna mute you for a while. So just know that. Someone else just subscribed. I'll see it pop up on the stream here in a second. I'll get it because I missed it. Tyler Tucker, there it is. Tyler Tucker, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. And Alan Donks, or however you pronounce that. Welcome aboard. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. THDXD, hello, or Henlo, as you say, apparently. Concords don't fly anymore. Concords only really flew across the Atlantic from London and Paris to New York and Dulles. Oh, thank you, Alan Donks. I appreciate that. But they don't fly anymore. They got retired. Because really because of economics is the primary motivator behind that. 9/11 played a role as well, and ultimately also it was a combination really of that big tragedy in Paris with the one that went down, 9/11, and just the economics of it just conspired to kill the thing. So. I don't have a Hindenburg, and that would be, if you're talking about a boring stream, oh my goodness, can you imagine flying a Zeppelin? Go 10 miles an hour and oh goodness. Yeah, it really was. There was a great Smithsonian channel did a great what do you call documentary on the Concorde and kind of the reasons behind its demise, and it really comes down to primarily those three factors: economics, 9/11, and the Paris disaster. Well, it'd be nice to see something supersonic return to the skies eventually, so we'll see. I didn't mute you on Twitter, so I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's squeaky sound. I know. It's because whenever I click out of FSX, it kills the sound, and so then you can hear that instead. Air Product 95. All right. How's it going? Alright, this should be 3-3 right here. Well, that's the thing is fuel efficiency, it's just the technology, I think, at the moment to go supersonic, just it's so much fuel it's so fuel intensive to try and do that. All right, landing lights on. Stop here for a moment. Why is it not letting me arm VNAV? I don't understand. It should let me arm LNAV and VNAV, but it's not letting me do that. Oh, we should probably set this to 36. good. Alright. Alright, I think we are ready to go. So here we go. I'm not going to be looking at chat for a little bit because I have to fly the plane. So, here we go. Toga. Notice it says takeoff 1 because we derated.
V1 take. V2.
Oh, this is ready. Gear up. TCAS on. Still can't arm me yet. Alright. It's very weird. Is it above 400 feet? Ah, there it is. Okay. So it'll let me do it after 400 feet. Okay. Oh, we'll take that. We gotta go this way, so let's start our turn. Set flaps 1. And it's changed over to climb power as we start raising the flaps. It's on climb 1 because it's derated climb. And this is that vector, so you see there's no connection here. So once we get lined up, then I'll connect it with the in the FMS. I'll show you how to do that. Follow the flight director here a little bit. So we want to get above that flaps up speed there. And there it is, so flaps up. We'll turn RTO to off, and we'll set landing gear to off. And at the same time, I'm going to come down here to legs, and we're going to select shack and replace, maybe, there we go. Vector and execute, and now it connects the line. You become a mod by me making you a mod. So when you're around, when you've been around long enough, and based on what happens in chat, I feel I can trust you to moderate okay, then I can make you a mod. It's just my discretion. I'm going to go ahead and set this up to 36. We've got some turbulence today. You can trust the German. That's awesome. Turning at shack here, coming around. Cloudy and stormy day here in Houston, Texas. I'm sorry, oh. Shut those off. That's just the indication that our center tanks are now dry, so it wants us to turn the scavenge pumps off because it's not good for them to run dry. Most fuel pumps work by lubricating the pump with the fuel, so especially the one in your car. So it's not usually good to let them just run dry. It'll burn the pumps out. Maintenance will not like us when we get to Albuquerque, so once it goes dry, we turn the pumps off. Alright, we're above 10,000 feet now, so we're going to landing lights off, and we're going to dip the nose to accelerate to our post 10,000 feet climb speed. I'm also going to go ahead and engage the autopilot this time. So you see that comes on command there, and we got N1, LNAV, VNAV. VNAV speed is holding N1, which is basically a climb setting, and it pitches the nose accordingly to maintain speed. So, yeah, when it does storm, it storms in Texas. That's true, Blueprint. Yeah, speaking of which, some lightning off the side there. Lots of lightning. Alright, we're above the rain, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the wipers off. And I'm just going to do a look-see of the upper panel, make sure nothing looks out of place. It shouldn't be. I'm going to go ahead and turn the taxi light to off. Landing gear's up anyway, doesn't need to be in the on position. Once we get above the chop, I'll go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off for the passengers. I do realize I forgot to do the passenger announcement, so we'll do something when we get up to altitude here. No, not the wipers. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to try to get to Albuquerque. We're trying to use this as a demonstration flight for the FMS, so you can do that. So once you're on your route, you want to keep the legs page up. Make sure you're going to where you think you're going to. Also, you can look at the progress page. This will tell you what leg you're coming from, where you're going to, the next one left, and then your destination and the expected. This is distance to go. So we got 13 miles to our next waypoint, 22 to the waypoint after that, and 673 nautical miles to our destination, and time to those things. So estimated time estimated time of arrival. And 2030 Zulus are estimated time of arrival at Albuquerque. It's currently 1857, so that is an hour and a half basically from now. So. Scuba Nick, I don't understand why. I'm not sure what that has to do with it. Be your daddy sounds awkwardly sexual. So, okay. Yeah, we're not to Mach speed yet because we're still under 20,000 feet away. So. Little passenger view window seat here for you, looking out the wing. Yeah, well, if it's meant to sound that way, then no. Because that's weird. Alright, well, I can tell you what I would do in that situation. If in the event of dual engine failure, what you would do is, first of all, you would pull the thrust levers back, try to restart. Now you would have two people in the cockpit generally, so you have to do this by yourself in that case. When you try to restart, if you can't, you're going to naturally try and pitch the nose to about 3 degrees up, nose up. The plane will naturally begin to glide at its best glide speed, roughly at about 3 degrees up or so on the HSI. So that line right there is 5 degrees. That line is 2.5. So just above that line is what we would pitch for holding 3 degree nose up. Relatively level to the horizon, and we would then begin to probably kick, depending on the altitude, we kick the APU on. This is the standard. Kick the APU on for power. We have electrical hydraulic pumps right here, so we would still have flight controls. Continue to try and restart the engines, and in the meantime, we could pull up the airport page here and try and see if we're close to a suitable airport for landing and start to move toward that. If we did not have a suitable airport to land, then I'd be looking for somewhere flat or a road or something like that to set this thing down on. It would not be pretty. It would not end well. But hopefully most people could survive potentially. So, but yeah. But that is the procedure. That's what we would try and do if we had dual engine failure. One of these days, I will do that. I'll kill the engines. Maybe we'll make that our next challenge video. Actually, I like that. We haven't done a challenge video in a while, so. Plot twist. So are you? I don't know what's going on. I do like potatoes. Actual potatoes. If we're talking about something else, then. No, I'm not going to pitch 25 degrees. Why would I do that? I'm not a fighter jet. How do you get the waypoints? Okay, so the waypoints are done through... I can actually show you this while we're flying, because I can. The waypoints are done through SimBrief, which is over here. This is a free website. I encourage you to try and use it. They do have an option for you to donate, and they would appreciate that, but that's up to you. But you can go in here and fill out a flight plan, origin, destination, or like that, and it will give you a route based on current routes pilots actually fly, done through FlightAware and things like that. But this is the waypoints it gives you, and that's what we put into our flight plan. So that's how that's done. Alright. I don't know, Epic patriotism, why? Nope, not doing that. Okay, how do you land on water without bouncing back? Well, you don't. In FSX, you really don't. Unless you have a special program like FS Passengers or something like that, landing on water will result in an instant crash for a non-seaplane. If you turn crashes off, then you'll bounce off the water unrealistically. But if you have something like FS Passengers on, or something else that will allow you to do more realistic crashes, then you can actually try and do water landings and try and survive best you can. So, no, I have not Blue Crayon, because I have what I call a travel or camel bladder, which means I've been blessed with the fact that I can basically go almost all day without having to urinate after I do in the morning. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Provided I don't drink an excessive amount of liquid. So I'm not one of those that has to go to the bathroom every few minutes or every hour or so. So generally speaking, when I get on a plane, I'm not going to the bathroom unless it's a long haul flight, and even then it's like maybe once during the flight. So, all right. Contrails, absolutely. Let's talk about contrails. Do we have any yet? They may not be high enough yet. Stop bouncing around. No, not yet. Contrails, you will see them in a little bit once we get up to 30,000 feet or so, coming out the back of the aircraft. And they're called contrails. It stands for condensation trail. You'll also hear the term chemtrails from dumb people. In a sense, they are chemtrails because H2O is a chemical. Well, I wouldn't say it's a big bladder, it just is a controlled bladder. Let's make all SIDS and stars. Did FMS make all SIDS and stars procedure? For the most part, yes. And I'll tell you about how to update that. Yeah, Captain Joe, I know, I've seen his YouTube videos, he does good stuff. But yeah, you can look him up too, he'll probably explain it as well. But contrails, when a jet, just like your car in the morning when it's cold, you'll notice white smoke coming out of the back. It's not smoke, but that's what it looks like. You'll notice a white smoke-like substance coming out of the back of your exhaust eventually, depending on how cold it is. Sometimes that will eventually go away, and sometimes it will just keep puffing out depending on the humidity level and chill in the air. So what that is it's the moisture in the exhaust stream condensing into droplets, just like clouds. Clouds are the same thing. It's moisture in the air that is condensed into droplets and forms clouds. That's how it works. It's nothing new. There's nothing conspiratorial about it. In any kind of exhaust stream, one of the byproducts of a combustion reaction is water. It's not the only byproduct, but it's one of them. That's why you see water coming out of your tailpipes sometimes. It's spewing out of people's tailpipes. it does happen. It collects and it does that. So if it can condense into small droplets in the air, then you can see it. And that's exactly what happens. Once you get up to altitude, it gets cold enough that it not only condenses to droplets, it then also practically freezes because it's so cold up here that they stick around for a long time. Now, we are, what are we up to? We're 26,000 feet, so we're not quite there yet. But yeah, eventually you'll see stuff come out the back of the aircraft, and it comes out of all the engines that are running. If you shut down an engine, the contrail stops because there's no more reaction. So you're right, this isn't science class, but I'm happy to answer the questions. So call me Professor Moose if you want. This trail of air coming off the wings is a similar phenomenon, but it's one created by different forces. So you'll see a lot of times on landings, little streams coming off the leading edge of the tip of the wingtip. That is also condensed water droplets as well. But what's happening there is the air, as it passes over the wing, is going through and creating, for lack of a better term, it's creating an area of negative pressure, and it can actually cause the water in the air to change state temporarily. So it's usually, you'll see that happen in the front end intakes of jet engines sometimes as they lift off. You'll see them go white for a moment. That's what that is. The same thing of air passing over the wing. Basically what's happening, and the best way to, it's a pressure drop. A pressure drop beyond the dew point. Not the sea point, but the dew point. And the best way to demonstrate this, to illustrate this, is a propeller of a boat, believe it or not. So if you turn a propeller in a boat very fast, you'll see tons of bubbles coming off the propeller. That's not because it's agitating the water. What's actually happening is it's boiling the water. When the propeller turns, it's creating an area of negative pressure in the water. When you bring water's pressure down to a vacuum, the water will boil, not because it's hot, but because it's changing from a liquid to a gas. And so that's called cavitation. And so as that propeller spins, you get all these bubbles coming off the back. It's boiling the water, not because it's hot, but because of a state change because of pressure. That's all it is. And it's really actually kind of fascinating once you understand that that's the principle that's going on. That's why they say if you live up in like Denver or Colorado or at 5,000 feet, you look at instructions on packaging to cook something on boiling water, they tell you to cook it a little bit longer because water boils faster at lower pressure, and so it's not quite at 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius because you're at a higher altitude, you're at a lower pressure. It'll boil before that point, so it's not quite as hot. So, yeah. So anyway, there you go. Yeah, we are still in climb now. We're at 29,000 feet. We're just about to hit 30. In fact, we should be getting there's our contrails. Look at that. Didn't even have to hit the chemtrail switch. So, yeah, you may have failed this back in 8th grade, or you may not have talked. But good guy, how you doing, sir? We are 2030. We're about an hour and 20 minutes. Looks like. So, yeah. Condensation, nuclear particles in the air. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, the humidity affects that. That's why some days you see these contrails lasting all day and kind of muddying up the sky, and some days they disappear immediately. It has nothing to do with the chemtrail switch being on or not. It's the relative humidity and the pressure of the air. So, that's all that's going on. Kyle, how's it going, sir? Yeah, it's the only one today because I'm going to run sound at a wedding right after this, so I kind of can't do any more after this. And then I got a date tonight, so I'm only partial nerd. I do date women occasionally, so I do like them. I don't really have many of them because I don't do a lot of VFR stuff very often. I'm more into the jets, but they do really do good work. So. Harry, you can talk science too as long as it doesn't involve the human anatomy of the lower region. You know what I mean? Thanks, Kyle. No, I did not. No, actually, a mutual friend set us up. So, you know what region I'm referring to, Harry. Someone would call them the nether regions. That's all I'm going to say about that. Garth DeLonge, how long have I been flying? Today? Or, like, in my life? What to specify. So, back on the contrail thing, there's a conspiracy theory out there, for those of you who don't know, and if you want to see some really stupid YouTube videos of idiot people, I encourage you to go check that out. Do YouTube search for chemtrails. These people believe that the government is basically spraying us with chemicals, and that's what those chemtrails are. And the ultimate debunk of this is that if you know anything about aviation, which most of you people probably do because you're into this kind of thing, is you know that weight is a humongous thing in aviation. You don't carry, airliners are very strict on not carrying any weight they don't have to. They are not going to carry tons and tons of chemicals for the government as extra weight. They just can't do it. And so, first of all, that's not going to be a thing. Second of all the pilots and all the airlines would be in on it. You notice Lufthansa, when they fly over, is throwing out contrails too. So are they part of the U.S. government conspiracy? No. It's just stupid. It's just dumb. So people that go in for that and believe that kind of thing, the pictures you see on YouTube of the planes that have tanks in them, one of them was the firefighting aircraft by Evergreen. Of course it has tanks in it. Its one job is to fill with fire retardant and fly over forest fires and dump that stuff. Come on. The other one looked like an MD-80 that had ferry tanks in it, and it was for ferrying fuel while it was trying to get to like Hawaii, because it can't normally make that trek with passengers. So they get the aircraft over there by adding extra fuel tanks in the fuselage inside the cabin to get it there. Then they reconfigure it and it stays in island hops. It doesn't go back and forth. And then another one was a Boeing test aircraft that was full of water tanks. They were being used as ballast. They fill them with water, and so they can simulate different weights on the aircraft by easily changing water on board the aircraft, as opposed to putting people on there, which you wouldn't want to do to simulate weight while you're testing an aircraft. So it's just dumb things. People that have no sense about them, making outlandish claims and pointing at pictures they know nothing about, saying, "See, it's proof." So anyway, okay, Harry, I told you, I warned you. So see, now I gotta do that. We're not doing talk about people's sexual reproduction. It's just not gonna happen. What do you mean by flux temperature? What are you asking there? Hadid, welcome to the stream, sir. Thank you for subscribing. Tour of the cockpit? Absolutely. So this is the cockpit. This is the overhead panel. Quick little deal here. This is flap indication, so we check this to make sure when we put our flaps down, this will indicate to what our flaps are doing. This just needs to make sure it jives with our flap indicator here. Shows where our flaps are. Yeah, the flat. Oh, don't get me started on the flat Earth people. Let's see. Let's go up. Do it this way. Flight control switches. So these always need to be guarded. You would turn these off. You need to override something and kill power to a certain deal. The yaw damper is basically, it minimizes the force of the rudder that I can put on it, because when I'm going 300 knots, if I was to put full right rudder, it's very likely that I would tear the tail off. And that happened actually in American Airlines out of New York, crashed into Long Island because the guy was whacking the rudder back and forth. So don't do that. So that's why you have a yaw damper. Navigation selections, so I can choose to do VHF navigation, IRS navigation, or FMC navigation on either the left or right side, or both. If we were to lose one of our systems, we would select the one that was still working so we didn't get bad data. Same thing with the source displays, you want to do that. I'll talk about flex temperature in a second. Fuel temperature. If fuel temperature gets too low, you can get icing in the fuel. And you don't want that because there could be water in the suspended in the fuel. If it freezes before the fuel does, blocks the fuel filter, cuts off fuel flow to the engines, and the engines die. So there's heaters built into the fuel system so that doesn't happen. This is a way to monitor that. Fuel control crossfeed, so I can choose the fuel pumps to be turned on and to crossfeed in between the tanks, make sure the aircraft has the fuel it needs. Coming back to the very, very top here, we've got, actually I don't know what that is. I don't know what WLAN is. That's news. I'll have to look that up. This is kind of a display unit for the IRS system, the kind of the old-timey display, but I can see what it's doing and make sure that's all good to go. The IRS alignment switches to align the IRSs are right here on the relative displays. Yeah, I can't go in the cabin, sorry. I'll talk about the other stabilizer stuff in a second. Let me finish the cockpit first. Cockpit video system is not modeled, but it's basically you can turn on a video system. I think it's either for fire monitoring or just in general to be able to see the cockpit. It's kind of like another way of monitoring what's going on in the event of an emergency. Electrical readouts, I can choose the various systems and see what the amps and volts are for the systems at. And actually, this should be, oh my gosh, I just realized that should be on Gen 1. We've got ground power selected as our standby power. Galley power for the cabin utilities and the passenger seats and in-flight entertainment system. I can turn those off if I want to. Let's see, we've got the standby power disconnects, standby power rather, and then main disconnects for the drives, which is the generator drives and the engines. Once you disconnect these, generally you have to reset them on the ground, so we don't do that unless we absolutely have to. Ground power switch, so if we have ground power connected, we can activate that there. Bus transfer switch, I can choose between the buses, or by default it's set to auto and it's pulling from both. But these are the generators for the engines and the APU generators. APU exhaust gas temperature indicator, windshield wipers, landing lights, runway turn-off lights, taxi light, APU start switch, aircraft engine start switches, ground, off, continuous, and flight. If we were going to try and restart the engines in flight, I would set these to flight. On landing, I'll put these in continuous, and it basically just means the ignition wire is firing constantly, so that if there's a fuel interruption, it'll restart itself pretty easily, just in case. Circuit breaker and panel lights, I can turn these on and just backlighting for the panel if I need it. Equipment cooling for the supply and exhaust should always be in normal, but if I need to switch to alternate if something fails on here, this equipment cools things like the avionics bay and things like that. Emergency exit lights for the passengers. If there's emergency, it'll illuminate the lights in the aisles to tell them where to go. We want to make sure that's armed for flight. This used to be no smoking sign, turn on and off, but since no smoking is universally not acceptable in flight anymore, it's a chime button. And then we have the fasten seatbelt sign, which I'm going to turn off right now because we're pretty stable. I have an attendant call as well and a ground call, so I can call the ground crew if we're getting pushed back or something like that. Continuing on up the scene here, we have the cell call interphone, which we don't use. The dome light, which is lighting for the cockpit, which again we don't need while we're in flight. This is a VHF radio panel for jump seat passenger. Stand by. Something's happening. My phone's going off. I gotta figure out what's going on here. Okay, so we got that. Engine, electrical status and systems. We want to make sure that's correct and ready to go. Crew oxygen and passenger oxygen switches. We want to make sure those are normal. Secondary gear indication lights. So if this was 3 green and this was not 3 green, we probably have a light out over here. That's an easy way to check about that. Flight recorder obviously should be on. We can't test these in flight because we're going, but that's the airspeed warning test and the stall warning test, which again does not test now that we're in flight, but it just makes sure the stick shakers work and the overspeed warning works for that. Okay. Let's see, coming down the panel, window heat panel. You want to make sure you turn window heat on because it's currently minus 18 degrees Celsius out here, which is 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the what? Stand Bye. Please don't talk about things that shouldn't be talked about. All right. Oh gosh, people. Tell me. Okay. All right. Sorry. Window heat, you want to make sure that's on because it's basically the temperature of your freezer at home, or a really good freezer at home anyway. And if you don't have window heats on, then this can ice up or crack. Heaven forbid, you don't want that to happen. The probe heat is for the pitot tubes. You want to make sure that's heated so you don't get any ice buildup in the pitot tubes and you can't tell your speed. Wing anti-ice switch and engine anti-ice switches if we need them. If we're going through clouds and it's 0 degrees Fahrenheit, then we turn those on. Hydraulic pumps, engine pumps, and electrical pumps for the hydraulics. Those should all be on when normal things are happening. The actual microphone for the Cockpit voice recorder is right here. We also have some annunciator lights just for some things here. This here is the temperature pressure differential for the cabin pressurization. Generally speaking, the cabin pressure should altitude is going to be around here. It's 8,000 feet. Altitude is typically what gets picked up, and then over here is your is just another reading for cabin altitude. So this is the normal range. This is what it would be if you let it go completely. You wouldn't want to do that. Altitude horn cutout if we got a warning, we need to cut the horn out. And then cabin rate of climb is right here. Moving along, we have air temperature selector for the cabin, which right now it's right around 20 degrees C. Trim air is on. That's air for the avionics bays and stuff like that. Temperature selectors for the different sections of the cabin, including the cockpit. Recirc fans are in auto to recirculate the air. Duct pressure on the pneumatic system, which is also running the air conditioners. Packs left and right. This is the air conditioner packs, and the bleed valve should be, or the isolation valve should be set to auto, so the computer can control that. Bleed valves off the engines and off the APU and so forth. This is for cabin pressure as well. We set the flight level so the computer knows what we're going to be flying to, so it can pressurize the cabin accordingly. We set the landing altitude here, which I'll do as we get closer, so it knows how to depressurize the plane appropriately. And we set that on auto. We set that on manual, we don't do anything. Cabin pressure will climb with the aircraft, and everyone will pass out. We don't want to do that. What is going on? Yes. It's not fixed. Okay. Alright. Let's see. And then we have our other lights down here. So we got a logo light, which shines on the tail. Position light, which is the nav lights on the wings. Anti-collision light, which is the beacon. Wing lights, shines on the wings. Wheel well light, shine in the wheel well if we need it. What's going on? The phone is suddenly blowing up. And then a light on the compass, so we can turn that to dim or bright. That is the overhead panel. These guys really want me to talk about the flex temperature, so... alright, so... What's wrong with... Why don't you just do it? Right. Well, actually, I think it does a little bit of both, Tim, in my experience. But I think you're right as well, as far as the yaw damper goes. No, but I'm not seeing. What are you talking about with the bullying? I've had to mute you once already here, so I'm not. If people are finding your logo offensive, I can see why. So, just know that. Okay, flex temperature. Flex temperature is something you set in the FMS before takeoff to derate your thrust. So, if I'm going to set flex temperature, it means I want to derate the thrust based on another temperature. So, it was science, but I warned you not to talk about that kind of science because people are going to find it offensive. So, you gotta listen to it. Okay. Load limiter on a... Oh, okay. Aha! Anyway, based on speed on... Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Got it. Good to know, Tim. Thank you. So yeah, so what Tim is saying is the yaw damper on the Boeings actually is a compensation for Dutch roll and things like that. Kaiser, thank you for subscribing. And it does that for that. Oh my gosh, what is going on? Okay, turn it on at 10. No wonder it never got cool. Okay. Did I get mute? I didn't mute you, no. Beach Bonanza, welcome aboard, sir. Good to have you here. Thank you for subscribing. Offensive, disturbing, same thing. So, as far as I'm concerned. So, yeah. So that's why things are happening. Discussion here, yeah, density alpha. Okay, so flex temperature though is going to be something used to derate the thrust. You set a high flex temperature that's higher than the outside temperature because it tricks the engines into thinking they need to run at a lower power setting. That's basically what that is. Yes, I am using EasyDock. I don't know what phugoid cycle is, so that I don't know. Alright, continuing the cockpit tour. Actually, hang on a second, I'm going to respond to my boss texting me, so... Andre XD, thank you for subscribing. Okay, sorry, I've got like 3 different events going on where I work and everyone's having problems they can't solve themselves because that's what's going on. So I muted my thing while I was on the phone, so sorry. Got to deal with real life, that comes first. So anyway, where was I? This is the autopilot control, the MCP mode control panel. So course settings, speed settings, heading setting, altitude setting, vertical speed setting. Jeff, subscribe. Thank you, sir. Welcome aboard. Course setting again. These will set the minimums, either by baro or by other methods. Well, anyway, and then barometric settings over here, map mode settings over here. Got your heads-up display, your HSI, speed tape, altitude tape, navigation display, engine controls, FMS, lights, and then radios and squawks and stuff like that. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do for a tour because I keep getting sidetracked by real life. So, all right. I'm not telling you guys what I'm doing for my date because that's for me to know. So, what's the altimeter in? I have no idea what the altimeter in Texas is, and it's not going to be an altimeter in general. It's going to be an altimeter based on location because pressures change. So, standard altimeter is 29902. And depending on what the actual atmospheric pressure is, we'll change that. So we get that when we come in to land. We use standard when we're above 18,000 feet, so we're on 2992 right now. And yeah. Oh, I didn't know that, Tim. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, it is good practice to do. So, but yeah, trust no machine. Not a movie. We're gonna go to dinner and then hang out somewhere else. But yeah, that's basically it. QNH is the altimeter setting. So there's two. You can do it in QNH or millibars. You can set that here, the inches of mercury, which is QNH, or the millibar setting over here, which is not going to change. Actually, let's change that to there. So there's inches of mercury. There's millibars, hectopascals. But that's QNH. So you'll hear people say QNH 29902. That's what they're referring to. I'm currently in Fresno, California, in my bedroom. The black and white circle next to the throttle. Oh, you're talking about this is the trim wheel. So this is the trim setting here, indicator setting. I can move this manually, or I'm going to do this. It's going to disconnect the autopilot. But if I hit the trim setting on the yoke, see how that moves? That's adjusting the trim, and it just killed the autopilot when I do it. So I'm just going to turn that back on because I think I'm taking control. So failures turned on. Failures mean it's automatic failures turned on. So it's I'm not selecting any particular failure. Things can fail. They may not, but they may. So, but yeah, it's done through PMDG. The FSX ones you have to specify. I'm not a pilot, so no, she does not. Oh goodness. We already met once, and it went really well. So I don't think I have to. I don't think I have to. The charm part is over. Now it's the get to know each other and hang out and have fun and see if this will go somewhere. So. Oh, currently in FSX. We are. That's a good question. Where are we? Let's see if we can find out. We are 57 miles from Logo. So let's pull this over here and look at our map. So Logo, I think, is over here maybe? No, that's CME. This is Logo, I guess. No, it's not. I don't know where I am. There's Logo. So we're 56 miles from there, so we're probably somewhere in here. So approaching the south end of Midland, Texas. Well, I don't know if I'm married her yet because I've just met her once. I haven't really had any real bad emergencies during stream, so... No, Harry, that's okay. Weather operable? What do you mean? So that's what you mean by that. Diwa Sharma, how's it going, man? Oh, weather radar operable. You know what? I don't know. I don't remember if that's. I'm sure it is. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's on. I don't think I ever turn. I think I generally keep it off because of frame rates. I can test it. Nope, that's fire test. Wrong test. This is weather. This is just. That does anything. That's the weather radar test. I don't know where you turn it on at. That's just gain and the pitch up and down the radar. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Not well versed in the weather radar. Yeah, no, I got it now. Thank you, Axel. Passenger load is 132. On the nav display. Oh, okay. Oh, probably that. There it is. Weather radar. Okay. Obviously, we're above the weather at the moment, so. I don't know. I don't work for Orbeck, so I have no idea. Zulu time is 1934. And we're due in at 2029, so we're just under an hour now from touchdown. Yes, I've been inside a real cockpit. In fact, when I came back from, in fact, maybe I'll post that on the on Twitter, Facebook. When I came back from Flight Sim Con, I actually was able to talk my way into the cockpit of the 757 we landed at LAX in after the flight was over, obviously. And I let myself in the captain's seat and just check out the cockpit. The captain of that Delta aircraft was super nice. So yeah, I will not pull the red handle now. Yeah, I'm done talking about my date now, so. How you doing, Andreas? I don't fly in VATSIM very often. I have done it, and I will do it, but I don't do it very often, just because reasons. We're at 36,000 feet. And we'll view out the window. Texas is below us. Flying along. See what are some other views we've got here. It's American Airlines 737, as you can clearly see. VATSIM is an online platform that FSX connects to through other software. They're not inherently connected. They are separate platforms that can work together. There's our big CFM GE engine there. Clouds flicker on and off. That's nice. It's a nice touch. A little underbelly shot. Oh, attitude. Attitude is right about 2.5 degrees or so. It's what it takes to hold it at altitude, flight level. Anders, thank you for subscribing, sir. Is she under 250 pounds? I don't know. I haven't weighed her. It's awkward. The window cabin view that everyone has. You talking about this view, but with an actual like window here? I think I have no idea actually. I think people are doing stuff in their video editing after the fact to do that. I think. Could be wrong. I don't think we should descend yet. We're still a ways out. Our top of descent is quite a ways out. Excess data, yeah. Oops. Oh, there's some weather right there. That's good. I don't even know where top of descent is. So I think it's right there. Yep, there it is. Top of descent's up here. So we got a ways to go before we top of descent. I do not like guys. I mean, not in that way. Anyway, I mean, I have friends that are guys. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm not making any judgment. I'm just saying I don't know what she weighs. I haven't weighed her, and that's really awkward. There was traffic in here. I don't know that there is. I haven't heard of any, but then I have not using ATC, so that can be why. Traffic's on, so we see it. If there are, we'll see it. I don't necessarily recommend buying X-Plane because I haven't tried it myself. So, I mean, I hear it's great, and I hear lots of people love it. So, I would not advise you against it. But I personally can't recommend it because I don't have it, I haven't used it. So, I myself would like to get it at some point, just so I can try it out and have some familiarity with it. But to date now, I have not used it. So, nearest airport to us is probably Midland, Texas. Nearest recognizable airport anyway. Yeah, because there's all these ones out here that are you're not going to be able to identify. KE13 is the closest one, so if you want to look that up on airnav.com and see what that is, because I don't know what it is. That, I think, is Midland right there, KMDD. It's about 40 miles away, I think. Two levers above, oh, these guys here, the switches, you mean? This is for selecting what you see here. So this is the lower display unit. So I can choose to put that down there, or I can choose to put the ND down there. And then this one is the main panel. I can choose the outboard to be nothing, normal, engine there, PFD there, and it puts the engines back, and then I can put that there with that there, and that's it. So it just allows you to swap those around depending on what you want to do. I have absolutely heard of Air Force Proud. His videos are hilarious. The PG, they're releasing the Max next week? I haven't heard that. That's awesome, but I've not heard it. PC specs, change the range to 360. That's 360, but then there's excess data and you can't see. So there's our end of our route. PC specs are, I'm running a AMD 6-core FX 6100, I think it is. 3.3 gigahertz, overclocked to 3.9 gigahertz. And I have a NVIDIA GTX 970 graphics card, 4 gigs of video memory, a 500 gig solid state hard drive, and 8 gigs RAM. All custom built by me. Let's see. Okay. Indicator, top left gear lever. That guy, that's flap indicator. Tells us flaps 1, flaps 3, flaps 5, flaps 10, flaps 15, flaps 25, flaps 30, flaps 40. And auto brake is right there. Big putter. Well, I'm not up for 2 streams today because I got a wedding I'm going to right after this, which the stream here is going to be cutting it close. I don't know. I don't think there is a standard procedure, at least that I'm aware of, for seatbelts. I think it varies by airline. Generally speaking, the seatbelt sign is on until the pilot deems it safe to turn it off. So, yeah. But I don't know. Someone who knows better maybe able to fill me in, but I am not aware of any specific procedure that it has to be on below 10,000 feet or anything else. I've seen the seatbelt sign go off pretty quick before if the weather was good, and I've seen it stay on for a long time when the weather is not so good, but that's all weather contingent. So again, that's the pilot making a judgment call based on turbulence as to whether or not they turn it on or off. But I don't think there's any specific, you have to leave it on until a certain altitude. Yeah, critical time periods. So whatever that is determined by the pilot. So landing and takeoff are obviously critical time periods. Any weather and turbulence are going to be critical issues. So, yeah. Back over to that. What is with all this "can you be my daddy" stuff? The answer is no. I'm no one's daddy. I don't have children of my own yet, and I will wait until I have children of my own. I think I did turn the seatbelt sign off. Yeah, the seatbelts are off. Well, I put the gear off. It's set to off right now. That's up, that's off, that's on. All that does, by the way, is it cuts off hydraulic power to the wheels. So once they're up and locked, it just removes the hydraulics from it. So it's not a huge thing if you keep it on, but it's just you're running hydraulic pumps to a thing that's not going to do anything. So it's set to off right now. On, auto, off. Just like the chime was at. Whoa, check it out. Aircraft coming overhead with their chemtrails. So there he is on TCAS right there. Some aircraft do not have the option to turn the thing off, probably because the aircraft just cuts the hydraulic power automatically, so it's not necessary. I think the Airbus aircraft is just down and up. So yeah. Yes, SWA fan, I will be switching to P3D probably at some point. I don't know when, but because it's going to be a costly move for me, just because everything I have is FSX. But it's the wave of the future at this point, so that's awesome. Okay. Well, TCAS warning didn't come on because he was high enough above us. If he's more than 1,000 feet above us, there's no need for the warning because that's normal vertical separation. If he was under 1,000 feet above us, then yeah, that thing would have gone off. For me, Boeing. I love Boeing better. If it ain't Boeing, I ain't going, as the phrase goes. Can you turn it off for us? Turn what off? What does the auto mode do on the seatbelt switch? I would assume the auto mode on the seatbelt switch, I don't know what controls that, but I would assume it turns it on and off based on maybe the mode of flight it thinks I'm in, maybe? I don't know. I always just do it manually, so... Tim may be able to speak into that, but I do not know. I'm going to bring up the chart for Albuquerque because I need to find out what the altitude is for that. It might refer to altitude. I'm not sure. Like I said. Oh, connect to flap setting. Okay. Tim, you are a font of information. How long till landing? We are about an hour and 10 minutes, roughly. Alright, so altitude at Albuquerque is 5,355 feet. So I'm going to set that here on the landing altitude. So that way it doesn't try and bring the cabin altitude all the way down to 0, because then the outside air would be still, with the cabin would essentially be pressurized higher than the outside. It wouldn't be able to open the doors. Yes, retard means you are retarding the thrust levers, not that you're a retard. Although the jury's still out on that one as far as I'm concerned. Oh goodness. Okay. Unknown shell. I know what you're talking about, so let's keep the language clean, please. Oh, that's awesome, Tim. Check captain. That's cool. 757 is one of my favorite aircraft. I love that thing. I'm assuming you can't tell me what airline you fly for protection reasons, and that's fine. You didn't miss the whole flight. We're in the air. Stackable gold. Yes, it means you're putting the thrust levers to idle. That's awesome, Tim. How long have you been with the airline you are currently with, if you don't mind me asking? That's awesome. Well, it's a noble goal to aspire to. Well, you can fly. 30 years. Nice, Tim. All right, cool. Let's give me a tail number in your fleet. Well, that will give the airline away because he can instantly look up the tail number and tag it to the airline's sign. So no, he's probably not going to do that. No, I know you said you're going to be. Not yet, LCOD Gaming, but I'll fly there eventually. We got some turbulence flying through the cloud there. And settle down. My guess is he's got quite a few flight hours. Yeah, a little rough for a moment. We kind of flew right next to a large cloud there, cumulonimbus. Gave us some turbulence. I don't drink, so I'm sure the cabin crew can get you a good scotch, but I wouldn't know. Well, thanks, Aziz. I appreciate that. Okay, sorry, alarm went off at one of our buildings. I had to talk to the alarm company. Hang on, let me see. I think I missed some things here. I just want to catch up. On landing, how do you disconnect the auto throttle FSX button or key combo? So on here, I can just click the auto throttle arm. That's how I kill it. I normally have my yoke has a button on each side of the yoke for autopilot disconnect. And so I do that. I have to do that for when I fly the PMDG MD-11, because otherwise I have to try and hit this guy, and that thing's usually flying back and forth, and it's hard to hit it with the mouse. So I don't know if it's set up right now to disconnect on this aircraft with the throttle, so I'll usually just go up and hit the auto throttle, and then the brake bar for the autopilot. So if that answers your question. Right now I'm just streaming on YouTube. I'll probably get onto Twitch at some point, but right now it's just that. Let's see. Yeah, it sounds like that would be really good for FSX, actually. The other key thing is going to be your graphics card. You don't list that there, but Z-key disconnects the autopilot. I don't think it's going to do the auto throttle as well. They're two separate systems. Yeah, I'm sorry, this is real life, and I have to deal with real life things. I have no idea what the meal today is today, so it's a short flight. I don't think we're serving food. I think it's just snacks with cookies. Cops will show up after verifying calls. No, well, alarms go off. The alarm company calls me first, and I can tell them that no, we know who's there. So. Oh, really? Yeah, the TFDI is an interesting animal to get your hands around. Well, any of the MD-11, I mean McDonnell Douglas style aircraft are, because it's a whole different world, especially if you're used to the Boeing. So I've got a video of me doing the TFDI, so if you want to check that out, that might help you, or it might not. I don't know. I don't even know what face rig is, so no. I have a Twitch account. I haven't done anything with it yet, so I couldn't even tell you what the account name is right now. I do not have Discord, no. The correct way to pressurize the 737 is to go over here and hit auto and set your altitudes correctly. You can do it manually too, but you have to watch and open and close the outflow valves. You don't want the pressure in the aircraft to rise above 8,000 feet, but as you climb, it should be slowly climbing too, so your pressure differential isn't so extreme, or you will destroy your fuselage. You don't want to do that. So yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, that's really what I call all McDonnell Douglas aircraft. Is it really is? It feels like a mashup, a middle ground between the Airbus style of aircraft management and the Boeing style. It's like a halfway in between. So. Well, I might do that. That's very possible. That's awesome. So where is this simulator you're doing? Because it's the full motion you were talking about yesterday, right? That's a dream of mine at some point, to do a full level D full motion, because that would just be awesome to experience that. I gotta get Mr. Check Pilot Tim here to hook me up somehow. Yeah, I know. There's always some, and there's always going to be people that dislike something. I mean, that's fine. The fact is, the likes outweigh the dislikes, so you can't worry about what the naysayers say. That they can just go away. They don't need to watch this. This is for the people that enjoy it. If they don't enjoy it, then go find another video. Not everything's for everybody. That's fine. In Tampa. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we got some cumulonimbus coming off. In fact, we can see on the weather radar the hot spots over here too. So yeah. Yeah, I've heard about that, Tim, at the Dallas Museum. That's the Delta Museum. That's over in Atlanta, I think, right? Yeah, I'm sure I can set it up myself. But thanks, Unknown Shell. Well, you can, but I don't think there are any. Not full motion. The closest one I've found close to me, yeah, see, that's the one I heard of. Tim, there was something in Las Vegas that did something that I thought was full motion. And I think they even had a 747, which is the one I would really want to do. So I think that's the closest one to me. There's a 737 one in LA, in Anaheim, but it's not full motion. It's just a static cockpit. But it was really cool for what it was. Well, if the storm is below me, yeah, you just fly over the storm. There's no reason to avoid it if it's below you. Yeah, I fly VATSIM, but very, very rarely. Yeah, well, I probably wouldn't be able to afford the old NWA sims even if I knew about them, so... Thank you, Jamie Myers, I appreciate that. Well, thank you, I appreciate that, that's very nice of you. Someone's asking me to change the view, so here you go. I haven't gone to Saudi Arabia yet, but when we go to Europe here in the next few weeks, I think we'll make a trip down to the Middle East and make sure we go down there. This is a 737, so it's Boeing. Boeing 737-800 NGX. And really the giveaway is, I hate to do this because they were asking me to change it, but the cockpit. The cockpits of the Airbus almost all look identical. The only way you can tell the difference usually is the number of throttles. That's a 340 or A380 or a 320 or 330 or something like that. Oh, and in real life? No, I've never been to Saudi Arabia in real life. The furthest away I've ever been was Israel. I just went to Israel in February, March for a study trip, which was really cool. Yeah, I'd really like to go to London at some point. London, England and Germany are my next two, like, want to travel to areas. Oh, your dad flies 737s? That's awesome. Yes, I do remember that. I have to make you a mod. And right now I've got 2 on here. I don't need everyone to be a mod, so... Well, thanks, Unknown Shell. I appreciate that. Don't recall... My favorite Airbus? I don't really have a favorite Airbus. They all kind of are the same to me. I think if I had to choose, though, probably the 340. It's big, but it doesn't look ugly. the A380 looks ugly to me. But, that's true. The A350, I have not even seen what the cockpit looks like there. I'm sure it is. They probably changed that up. A mod just has the ability to ban and block people if they're getting out of control. I don't have any particular area in Germany I'd like to go, but I'd like to visit the country. I'm half German, so... right now it's Blue Crayon and Encrypted Pilot, I believe, are the mods on here. This game is FSX Steam Edition. Oh, we're going to go through this cloud here. Might be some turbulence. Preemptive seatbelt sign just in case. Come to Berlin, okay. Yeah, there was some turbulence, look at that. Alright, you know what? I've been getting a lot of requests for the Autoland stuff, so let's do that this time. We'll go ahead and I'll show you how the Autoland procedure works in correlation with the FMC. So not a bad idea. Go turn seatbelt sign back off. Whoa, all of a sudden it just flies up here. Come to Berlin, fly to EDDT. Oh yeah, okay. Link, please? Link to what? Oh, link to the game? Just search FSX. FSX Steam in Steam. Search FSX. At this point, you're probably better off buying either X-Plane or Prepared because FSX, all the developers are moving away to those sims. So, now, for cost, FSX you're going to be able to get the cheapest. But that just depends on where you are. There's a Pan Am sim in LA, really? Is it full motion though, or is it just static? So the next one I want to do is a full motion. So now I've done lots of manual landings, so we'll go ahead and do a auto land because people want it. And I'll show them that way we can tell them you can go check this out. I know auto land is a little boring, and it is boring for me, but I much prefer the manuals. But I keep getting people asking how to do it, so I'll show you how to do it. It is full motion, okay. Hey, if you don't mind giving me the name of the company that you found that with, I would appreciate that. Because I would love to look into that. Because if I could do a full motion 747 simulator, I can die happy. At this point, I can die happy anyway, but I could die really happy. So... you asking me to choose between the two? Probably the F-18. Just because it's more advanced. Tomcat's cool, but it's pretty ancient now. Yes, it's Flight Simulator X, FSX, sorry. And it's the Steam Edition one, is what I'm flying on right now. Pan Am Experience, interesting. Okay, well I will check that out. Good to know. Oh, sorry, yeah, I missed that. Yeah, the GPU actually doesn't do a lot of the work in Flight Sim. Unfortunately, it relies more heavily on the CPU. The GPU is a NVIDIA GTX 970 with 4 gigs of memory on the GPU. So I can only hope, Kyle. I can only hope. How long till landing? Just under half an hour. No, we're not going to move flat spin. jump scare? What? Oh, goodness. I just answered, and please watch the language. We do not do language on the stream. Putting an asterisk in the middle of it does not make it not language. You have been warned. This is why it's always had. Yes, yeah, it is, because it relies so heavily on the CPU as opposed to the GPU. If it could rely more on the GPU, then it would probably blow. People would be able to blow it out of the water. But Kangaroo Gaming, how's it going, sir? Welcome back. But yeah, the GPU is where the problem is, and so it's really easy to get a cheap, speedy CPU, but the buffer size and stuff isn't that fast, and so you can end up with a fast CPU that's really not that fast. That's kind of where I'm at in my situation. Let's see. So we're kind of on top of descent, so I'm going to go ahead and switch our altitude down here. I'm not using ATC today because I'm just tired of dealing with it, so I'm just going to set this down to 1,000 for now. It's going to descend us automatically when we hit that top of descent point. So, no, mine's an AMD processor. It's an FX 6100 AMD 6-core 3.3 gigahertz overclock 3.9. Oh, that sounds really cool, Blue Crayon. We're going to Albuquerque. We're getting ready to descend into Albuquerque, actually. Plane's landing in just under half an hour. So, yeah. So, for setting up for the auto land, basically you want to make sure the FMC is correctly programmed for the runway you're going to land on. And if that's the case, you're going to be using your MCP up here with VNAV and LNAV. And as we get closer, once we get the localizer and glide slope in here, we're going to switch to approach. And then eventually, this thing will switch over to land 3, or land 2. Is it land 3 or land 2? I think it's land 2, I guess. There's only 2 IRSs, so it can't be 3. In bigger aircraft, it's land 3. And Pan Am Street, I have no idea. It is. Well, that's cool. Nicely done, Kangaroo. Only trains. Netherlands? What's the... the Netherlands does exist, yes. I don't know what the question is. You reveal your face one day. Yeah, I just don't have a webcam yet, so I don't have a way of doing that. I have nothing to hide, but yeah, just, that's all it is. It has land 4. Well, no, it doesn't, because it's only got 2 inertial reference systems. So I think it depends on one way. Is land 3 capable? No, what you're referring to is the category, Cat 1, Cat 2, or Cat 3. The land 3, land 2, that refers to the number of systems that the aircraft is referencing at the moment for its landing data. So, in aircraft that say land 3, it means all the initial reference systems are in agreement. Reverse thrust is the engine will split open right about here, the cowling of the engine, that is, and little flap doors will close and redirect the air from the main fan back out the front of the aircraft to throw the thrust out the front. The core of the engine will still keep pushing air out the back, but about 80% of the thrust comes from that fan. Only about 20% of it comes from that, so it'll overtake that, cause reversing action on the speed. IDK Bossy, how's it going, sir? Welcome back. Alright, and it looks like we've now passed top of descent, so we're starting to go down. So we have begun our descent. Well, we'll find out in a second, good guy. I feel like it's not. I think it's dual. I think in the 737 it's dual land is what it comes up as. Land 3 comes up in the 7.4 because there's 3 IRSs. Yeah, probably because it's a narrow body aircraft, so there's only so much that can be done in first class. It's kind of like first class on a on a CRJ or something. So, yeah, our numbers are a little down today compared to yesterday. That's okay. It's a Saturday. There's a lot of people. It's summer. Just changes based on the day. Usually as we start to descend, the numbers start to go up a little bit. I don't know how people know, but it seems to happen. Yeah, so when I land the plane, once the wheels touch down, and this kind of goes, there's two schools of thought. Some schools of thought say you don't hit reverse thrust until all your wheels are on the ground. Some do reverse thrust as soon as your wheels hit the ground, your back wheels. But I tend to do, as soon as the back wheels hit, I'll engage the reverse thrust unless there's some other reason not to. Yeah, sometimes first class doesn't exist. Exactly. I think a lot of the budget air carriers don't do first class. They just pack them in. No, I'm not going to turn off the engine. We're going to do that for a challenge flight. We'll do that. We'll kill the engines and do a glider in and see what happens. Yeah, David, that's exactly right. Stay inside. That's how I would translate it. It's like 104 here today in Fresno, so it's definitely stay inside weather. Yeah, Gross is right. Well, you don't necessarily need to. The runways, unless you have a really short runway, you should have plenty of runway to stop. And that's you have brakes, you have speed brakes on the wings. There's lots of things that help you stop. You do need more stopping distance if you don't use reverse thrust at all. But the difference between hitting it when the wheels hit or waiting until the nose gear hits, it's not going to make a humongous difference in your landing time. It will make a difference, but unless your runway is really short, it's not really worth the difference, I don't think. Alright, Expos, thanks for stopping by. 85 is still pretty warm, but I'll take 85 over 104 any day, or 108 for that matter. Alright, so as we come into land, something we want to set up on the FMS. We're going to go over here to, not descent, to initial ref, and it wants us to set what flaps we're going to use. So we're going to say we're going to use flaps 30 today, and put that in. That's going to give us a VREF speed of 142. So our approach speed is going to be generally about 142 plus about 5 to 10 knots. So that's what we want to aim for. So VREF plus 5 plus 10. I usually end up doing about VREF plus 10. Yeah, some of these airports have huge runways, so it doesn't even matter. I use my tablet for checklists. Well, I told you what airplane I want to fly. I'm interested in the 747. Well, that's good to know. The Pan Am flight experience. Oh. Damn it, where do you live? Do you live in the Phoenix area? Because that makes sense. 119, that is brutal. Gosh. Yeah, that I don't doubt either, Aziz. 123, ugh. Oh, thank you. Phoenix, yeah, okay. My grandparents lived in Sun City West for a number of years. So we went out there a few times, just like, why? They originally moved away from Fresno to get out of the heat. They moved up to the mountains, and they thought it was too cold, so they overcompensated again and moved to Phoenix. Fuel is indicated right here. 4.45 and 4.45 on the right. So 8.9 total times 1,000 pounds. So that's 8,900 pounds. Our our reserve fuel is 3.6, so we're well above that right now. That's it? 210 for 2 hours? It was like 800 in LA. I mean, in Las Vegas. That's not bad at all. Well, I'm going to check that out. That's well worth it. That's cool. Yeah, the FMS generally has that information built into the star. So as you can see here, it's got these at 14,000, below 18,000, when there's altitude restrictions. You can enter them manually as well on the legs page by putting them in over here. But you can see that it's populated that already. So it should have that on its own. But yeah. Hello, something in Cyrillic that I cannot pronounce. I'll try what Kazakvo taught me. Privyet tovarish. It's as much Russian as I know. And das vidanya, but that's not appropriate here because you're not leaving. Alright, I'll try to, let me get a view ready for that. There we go, so that's 5. So after I land, I'll come out here and show this real quick so you'll see the split. You'll see what I'm talking about. Expect to cross. Oh, are you talking about, oh, you're talking about those. Okay. Well, that's more, yeah, no, so those I have to enter manually. I know what you're talking about now. I thought you were talking about the restrictions. Yeah, those I would have to enter manually if I wanted to, if I was going to do them. If I was flying with, what is it called? Not VATSIM, the other one, Pilot Edge, that'd be a little more critical to have that because the ATC is a lot more professional at that point. Yeah, well, that's the key, is getting that tons of money. I don't know how I'm going to do that, so. Jamie Myers, no, I like you fine. I just need to make sure you're not going to use language. That's the only thing. We run a clean stream here, so I didn't block you. Someone else may have. I've got moderators that do that, so if you start using the F word and other things like that, then they'll put a temporary block on you. So just know that. Nothing against you personally, unless you keep it up, and then, yeah. All right, so we crossed below 18,000 feet, so we need to switch back from standard, so I'm going to change that and get our current altimeter setting, which is 3028, which normally we would get from ATC, but since I'm using ATC, I just hit B and it gives it to me. Yep, so that's fine, Jamie. Just keep the emotions in check and you'll be fine. That's all you got to do. Below 18,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the seatbelt sign, and in fact, I'm going to turn the taxi light on as well. And let's do what we should have done before we took off. Ladies and gentlemen, we have started our final descent into the Albuquerque area. At this time, please make your way back toward your seats, put your seat backs and tray tables in their full upright positions, and make sure your seat belts are fastened. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for landing at this time. Sound cuts out occasionally, it's annoying. Sherry, I don't know what that means, but hopefully it's nice. Thank you, Fly Purdue. Nice. Well, the runway, we're not aligned with the runway yet. It's over there somewhere. We're following the star that's going to take us to the runway. Do I like Trump? I like him better than Hillary Clinton. Let's put it that way. I think what he's doing as far as kind of being outside of politics as usual is healthy. Do I think he's a little too brash and does some stupid things sometimes? Absolutely. But I'm not a diehard Trump fan, but I did vote for him because there was no way I was voting for Hillary Clinton. So that's just me. KU Gaming, thanks for stopping by. See you next time. See you fly Purdue, I guess. Yeah, we're going to do Autoland. I know a lot of people find it boring. I find it boring, but people have been wanting to see it, so. Gotcha, Sherry. He is not going to ban Muslims. Now, first of all, we're going to talk about science and things. Let's talk real first. He is a travel ban on a number of countries, and the reason for that is because the vetting from those countries, the processes that they go to before they can get visas, does not meet acceptable standards. There are plenty of Muslim countries that are still welcome to get visas and come here. It is not a Muslim ban. That's the media blowing it out of proportion. So it's a necessary step. In fact, Obama made the same recommendation. He just didn't put it into effect. 1 month one. Thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. So I don't want to get too much into politics, but I just want to dispel that myth. It's not a ban on Muslims. He does not hate Muslims in general. He hates extremist terrorists, and I do too. And I think everyone should, because there's no room for terrorism. But I don't. But like most people, I do not hate Muslims. I don't have anything against Muslims. There are the majority of Muslims, I would hope, are nice people and peaceful people. Unfortunately, you get a bad name from the small minority that makes a loud noise. Preston AMR, welcome to the stream. Thank you for subscribing. So, yeah. Hey, DFW spotters, welcome back, sir. Yeah, I did do a video yesterday. This is not streamed on Twitch yet, no. Preston Chapman, thank you. Yeah, I know you're Muslim, Aziz, and I have nothing against you. If you are a peaceful person and have no intent on harming anyone, then you have just as much right to do what you want to do and live your life, and more power to you. I have nothing against you. And I have nothing against most Muslims, because most Muslims, I would assume, are like that. It's the small minority that makes a loud noise. And that's sad in any demographic when that happens, but that's what's going to happen, unfortunately. So. Let's see. If you subbed and it didn't come up, it means your subs are probably set to private. And so, unfortunately, that's it won't show up then when you do that. Don't think you're a hacker just because you're Russian. So, again, that's a stereotype. So, I have landed in Miami before, yes. Do you own an 80% lower? I don't know what that is. What are you referring to there? Zoom out your nav display. Zoom it out? Oh, or zoom it in. That would be zooming it out. Zooming in would be like that. But there's the runway right there. We're going to come up and around and in. I'm going to do that so I can see most of the route at the moment. What do I do? How do I get it up? Get what up? Alright, well, I'm going to have to leave right after, so if you want to message me the video on Twitter or something, I've got a wedding to go to. I actually should be leaving in like 5-10 minutes, so I got to get this thing down and go. Because I got to change. AR-15. Oh, I do not have an AR-15, no. I don't know how to pronounce that name. That just came up. Albuquerque is in New Mexico. It's on your Steam. Oh, okay, I'll check my Steam. That's cool. Overspeed, I don't know. Ilari Kosa. I'm gonna guess that's how you pronounce that. Thank you for subscribing. Should have time warped and cruise. Yeah, I probably should have. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Camden FTW, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. Yeah, Tim, if you have a Facebook or Twitter, if you want to follow me, I'd appreciate it, because I'd love to message you sometime about since you got the real world experience with the 757. I know you can't say a lot of things on here because it's way public, but again, it's up to you. Godfather 1921, thank you for subscribing. Welcome aboard. I have an uncle who is a MD-11 pilot for Gemini. I think it's Gemini, yeah. I do like flying, that's why I do it. Yeah, we'll do a 707. I'll pull that out one of these days here. So here's the airport. So we're going to come... Are we still... Why are we this high? This is not good. Stupid... Oh, that's right, because it's 5,000 feet the runway, not the other way around. Tyler Chun, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. It probably is Omni now, but it was Gemini. It may be Omni now, but I know for a fact it was Gemini. The specs are in the About section of my YouTube channel. This is like a really interestingly short... Okay, we're going to do flaps 5. I may have to manually land this thing. This thing's really short approach to the runway here, man. It stopped descending me for reasons I don't understand. You should be going down, dude. This thing's not descending, and it needs to descend, so... We're not going to make it to the runway. Alright, I wanted to do auto land, but this ain't going to happen, so... In the end, aviate, navigate, communicate, that's what you got to do. So we're going to do it this way. And I'm taking over. Yeah, so probably streaming in the afternoon Pacific time tomorrow after church. And yeah, we're going to do this manually. Gear down. Overspeed this thing because you can't get enough, can't lose enough speed. I have to land or I'm not gonna make it to the wedding. All right, this is what not to do, guys. This is bad piloting now. Just know that.
Banking.
This is very, very, very bad piloting. This is what not to do, guys.
Sync rate.
This would be a go-around in any other situation, but you know what? I'm going to sidestep. That way I can actually make an appropriate landing. I'm going to land right there.
Sync rate.
Quiet you.
1,000.
Can't bleed off enough speed. Good Gamer, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard. If I miss the subscribers right now, it's because I'm watching this. I can't do two things at once. This is going to be so bad. I'm going to crash. If you guys want to see me crash, this could be the day.
Sync rate. Oh, up.
Yeah. This is all kinds of awful.
Sync rate. 50. 30.
Oh, we are not making this now. Get on the ground, you piece of crap.
10.
We're going off the end of the runway. This is so bad. Oh. There's the reverse thrust there. As we go off, I'm going to hit a tree and die. Oh gosh, this is what not to do, guys. This is so what not to do. But I have no choice because I got a wedding to go to. And cut the reverse thrust. Alright, I'm sorry about that, guys. That was just horrendous. That was a... Can't lose enough speed, and that's short. I don't know what the kind of approach that was bringing me in at, but it was not going to work. So, yeah, flight test to your stations. 10% dissatisfied, yeah. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, normally I do not do that, but in this case I kind of have to because, yeah. I'm just going back and look at the comments now. It's pretty funny. Okay. Oh, goodness. I'm so sorry. Gating into Denny's. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Tim. Yeah. We made it to the road. We're still on the airport property. There's the fence. Oh, goodness. Alright, we're going to chop the engines here and prepare evacuations because that's how this is going down. So, I have to end the stream there. That was a horrible landing, I know. And I would have gone around if I had time, but I'm right up against it. I have to change and leave. So... yeah, I got sidetracked by the chatting and didn't notice that the aircraft was not doing its descent correctly until a lot later than I should have. So that's all on me. Yeah, you have to talk to the airline about getting your money back. Take that up with American. So hey, thanks guys for coming along. I appreciate it. Tim Hull, thank you for subscribing regardless of my horrible landing. Tim's an actual check captain for 757, 767, so if anyone knows a bad landing from a good one, it's him. But thank you for subscribing nonetheless. I hope to see you guys again soon. I will be streaming hopefully tomorrow in the afternoon, after church sometime, probably around 2, 3 o'clock, something like that maybe. And we'll hope to see you then. The link to my Twitter is in the down here in the scrolly bar. It's 83 Moose, I think it is. Or Flying Moose 83, I think it is. I haven't looked at it in so long. Anyway, yeah, there it is. Flying Moose 83 as it's coming across the screen there. Thank you guys. I will see you next time, and hopefully it'll be a lot better. Lorenzo Toss, thank you for subscribing, sir. Welcome aboard this horrible flight. Till next time, guys. I will see you later. Thank you so much.